We expected going into the bubble and the restart of practice across the NBA, there was the risk of injury, but the expectation with those would be, soft tissue type injuries because the guys haven't been able to necessarily play at the same level or train the same way. There are still going to be regular injuries that happen in the course of play, and we saw that last night, and it's a significant one. Lakers guard Rajon Rondo has suffered a broken right thumb in practice. He's expected to return to full basketball activities in 6 to 8 weeks. He's going to undergo surgery to repair the fracture this week. So he's down in Orlando. Everybody's down in Orlando. This is a significant blow, Mike, to a team that is already dealing with some issues at depth, obviously, with Avery Bradley deciding he didn't want to play in the bubble. So they're now down 2 players before they even get the chance to step on the court to play anybody.
Yeah, listen, this can certainly be a tough situation in a quest for a championship. It's not going to affect their seeding as number 1 seed. Let's quickly discuss that. They're playing 8 games, right? 8 games, regular season, quote-unquote, games going in. They have a 5.5 game lead on the Clippers right now. So if my quick math says it right, the Clippers could go 8-0, and all the Lakers would have to do is win 3 of their 8 games, and they would hold on to the top spot. So they'll be the top seed. Now it's just a matter of working through players and trying to find the combinations that you were doing in the regular season when you had combinations that now you don't have those combinations, and you can work on them now before you even get to this postseason.
Yep, and because you've got that flexibility in those 8 games, it allows you to probably play around with that a little bit more. I think like Quinn Cook, Alex Caruso, guys that are going to have their names sort of in that process in addition to the J.R. Smith signing. So you play around with those lineups, you experiment as much as you can in that, and the way you would have down the stretch. We were talking when we were going to resume play after the All-Star break anyway, and in the end of the season, you're talking about like a limited number of games where normally this is the case. You're ironing out the rest of your rotation. So now you just do it, I think, in a smaller sample size, but with a fair amount of importance coming off.
How about two of the guys you're going to rely on? One you just signed, the other you signed right before this all went to hell in a handbasket. J.R. Smith and Dion Waiters. Wow, who have not played a minute yet for their respective team. Again, Dion came in right before the whole COVID thing happened and the break. So these 2 guys will certainly get their chance to break a sweat, as they say with the Lakers, and find their place in the rotation. But boy, interesting 2 guys to be relying on.
Well, and it feels like if you go all the way back to last summer, this became the season of duos instead of trios and the season of tandems. And at the time, I remember coming into the season, our great debate was the Lakers were so top heavy but didn't have the depth. Could they win a title that way? Then they came together so quickly and looked so powerful during the course of the season that depth became less of a conversation. But these have to be the moments where the Clippers, who not arguably, have substantially more depth up and down, are looking across saying, hey, we're built to last in these sort of moments. So to the Lakers' discredit, depth's not always there. But to their credit, it hasn't been there throughout the course of the regular season. That hasn't mattered because their guys have played so incredibly well. So I still feel like if you look back at this and say, as long as Kuzma takes some step forward, which hasn't happened this season, but I still think could, they're an unbeatable team.
They're not unbeatable, but they're in a better spot now. Like places where attrition would have happened before. Like the Houston Rockets are much more interesting to me this postseason because usually what we see with them is one bad shooting stretch. James Harden finally get tired from a season of pounding the ball that now he's had time off of. Like the attrition and or lack thereof on James Harden is a very interesting subplot going into this postseason that makes a team like that more viable. So you're right. The Clippers still have an edge up because defense is going to be the easiest thing to start off and come back with because it's not relying on your ability to shoot, where some guys haven't had a freaking basketball for 8 weeks.
So
now.
I'll say this just for the intrigue of the 1-8 matchup, which we wouldn't expect anyone to lose to an 8. But given this situation, it wouldn't be so much Memphis who holds that 8 slot right now, and the presumptive rookie of the year in John Morant, and what he's been doing has been incredible. But one of the teams that is trying to get there, remember, if there's that team within 4 games that at 8-9, they do the play-in. You know who's right there? Portland. Now you have a guardless Laker team, basically, or injuries there, and you have Damian Lillard and C.J. McCollum coming in as one of the more dynamic duo point guard or guards in the league, that would make it at least an intriguing 1-8 if Portland were to take that 8 slot. I still think the Lakers would win, but you see the depletion of the guard position for the Lakers and what you have for Portland. At least I'm looking for some intrigue here in the bubble.
Yeah, I mean, just because, and it's purely off the memory of last year because Portland's been so bad for most of this season. So, but the potent part of that lineup is in the worst possible spot for Los Angeles.
I really thought you were going to say potent, potable. So you were going right there. I thought we were going to have
colors that end in purple.
So does any of this change if you guys came in, and I don't know where you two came into it, but if you came into the bubble believing that the Lakers were the favorite in the West, does the loss of Rajon Rondo change that?
Well, I think they're still the favorite, but you have to. I think with Bradley not going there and Rondo being out, I do think you have to at least drop them down a little bit. I still have them as favorites. I'm going with the ones. Real stretch by me. The Lakers and Milwaukee meeting in the finals, but could that change? Sure. My God, still what Toronto was done. Losing Kawhi Leonard, they're number 2 in the Eastern Conference, just blows my mind. But everybody's seeing what Boston wants to do, or Philadelphia if they're going to be healthy now. But then obviously the Clippers out west. So I still think they're the favorite, but there's no way you can say as strong as they've been because they're losing people.
Yeah, you bet on the blue chips right now because I think the higher profile players are going to be the more likely ones. Like,
right, exactly.
In all sports, the higher profile pplayers, the better funded teams, all of these are going to have a leg up in a time where resources have been hard to come by for the last 9 weeks. And so when you've got one of the total outlier in LeBron James, who's been all of that to the umpteenth power during this break, I think you come in with an immediate leg up on this the way that you do if you're a team in the NFL coming in with a veteran quarterback returning a bunch of your starters.
Totally agree that being a veteran team matters in this moment, not just because you're better suited to be a professional. Like Memphis is a team that I think has been incredibly fun to watch this year. I just don't know how they'll come into the bubble. We know how teams like the Clippers and Lakers will come into the bubble because there's more veteran leadership.